What's going on, everyone? So let's talk about AJ Griffin because I see a lot of people want the Lakers to try to work it out to sign him. Now, right off the bat, he's probably taking the year off. Um, could the Lakers technically sign him if he want? Sure, because he is coming off of a buyout. So what ended up happening is there were reports to kind of bring everyone up to speed. There were reports that AJ Griffin was strongly considering stepping away from the game of basketball. Got a lot of personal stuff that I just don't want to go into. That's his personal stuff. That's his personal life that he just needs to deal with and wants to kind of step away, move away from basketball. Whether that's temporary, whether that's long term, right? Could he, in 3 months go, hey, I want to get back into the league. I want to play again. I worked out what I needed to work out. I was able to clear my head. I was able to get in a better space. Sure, he could do that, but more likely than not, he's probably stepping away for at least the year. And the Houston Rockets, based on reports, are expecting him to kind of ride out the year and consider if he wants to return to the league or not. And Houston would love to have him. But he didn't retire, wasn't anything like that. He was actually waived and bought out. He gave back a significant portion of his contract. So he only took $250,000 of his $3.9 million that he had for this upcoming season. He was on he had a $17.1 million contract total as the 16th overall pick in the 2022 NBA draft and was in third year of his 4-year, $17.1 million. The buyout is worth $250,000 according to Feigen. Now, again, this is a guy that, of course, pretty much every team in the league would love to have and acquire. The only reason he was traded from Atlanta to the Rockets was because they drafted Rizashea and they have several pieces that play the position, so kind of give him an opportunity. The Houston Rockets were looking to add him into like their young core and be a significant piece, not only for now but for the future, right? He was a guy that's coming off of a promising season, but again, just kind of dealing with a lot of issues, right? He's dealing with a lot of just things that he's got to resolve. Now, as far as the Lakers bringing him in, I mean, if at some point he does, again, say, midway through the season, he's like, man, I really want to get back to the game of basketball, then yes, a team could sign him, right? He could technically go wherever he wants to go. But chances are, you would imagine that he probably gives Houston the opportunity if he were to go back, unless Houston's already kind of filled the void. As of right now, Houston has no plans to replace the roster spot. They do still have some exceptions. They still have flexibility if they did want to bring somebody in or multiple guys in, but it appears right now that they're willing to kind of just let him go. He's incredibly young, still 21 years old, and just kind of let him figure out what he needs to figure out. And then they're hopeful that he will return at some point next offseason, more likely. But look, he could go wherever he wants to go. Now, if he decides like, hey, I want to go to Lakers, he could go to the Lakers. Now, he's a guy that is 6'6", right? Got good size, play small forward, play shooting guard. He's a project, right? He's a guy that he needs some work. But he is a guy that had a very promising rookie season. Last season, he was a bit he wasn't able to replicate what he did previous year. Also, minutes went down, everything. But his rookie season is the one that everyone kind of points to and goes, oh, no, there's real promise there. Played in 72 games, averaged 19.5 minutes, shot 46.5% on 7.4 attempts, shot 39% from three on 3.6 attempts. So that in and of itself is great. Shot 53.6% from 2-point range, had an EFG of 56%. He shot just a hair under 90% from the free throw line, although in less than one attempt. Gave you 2 rebounds, 1 assist. We'll round up and be nice, say a full steal, half a block. and then gave you 9 points, right? But then if you look at the following year, he was 2.4 points, not even half a block, not even close to a steal, not even halfway to an assist, not even a full rebound. Did shoot 100% from the foul line, but on 0.1% of attempts, or 0.1 attempts. He shot from 2-point range, 34.8% on 1.2 attempts, and had an EFG of 37.1%, 25.6% from 3-point range on 2 attempts, and shot total 29% field goal percentage on 3.1 attempts. So basically all of his production dropped in half. He only played in 20 games that season, and then averaged 8.6 minutes. So again, rather disappointing in his second season, but like I mentioned earlier, a lot just kind of going on. If he is right, like if he can kind of get, again, in the right headspace, kind of get to where he wants to be as far as, just life and stuff, because obviously that all takes priority. Family and getting your mental right and getting your health and everything right. If he can get to that point, then yeah, absolutely. I mean, if the Lakers could find a way to get him, then by all means. But one, the Lakers already have a full roster, right? So Lakers in and of itself would have to waive guys, or, would have to work out some type of trade. Maybe you're working out some deal or something, but again, he was waived, so you can't do some type of sign and trade or anything like that. If I had to guess, he sits out at least this season. Right? I think he bare minimum sits out this season, kind of deals with what he's got to deal with, kind of figures out what he needs to figure out, and then I could see him kind of jumping into, maybe returning to the league. But again, I would imagine he'd give Houston the opportunity, unless he just really doesn't want to be in Houston and has concerns that could kind of jeopardize his mental state. But I can't imagine LA being much better, right? I can't imagine LA being a better place for him, unless that's just where he really wants to play. If I had to guess, I would say no, right? If I'm being realistic and I'm being honest, no, the Lakers are not going to get AJ Griffin. I've just seen a lot of people talk about him, bring him up, man, come on, Rob Pelinka, do your thing. But he didn't get waived because he was, Houston had other plans or other directions, or, he was requesting a trade or a buyout or something like that. No, this was so that way he could take some time away from basketball, kind of step away from the game of basketball for a while. This wasn't a usual guy gets waived or, bought out or whatever. He took quite the discount because he's clearly serious about stepping away, right? You don't go from, he basically turned down 3.7 million, 3.65. It's a lot of money to turn down, right? Don't get me wrong, he's made some money, right? Again, the contract was 17 million, and he got paid half of that, but still, it's a lot of money to leave on the table for something that you're not really sure on. Right now, obviously, if he was to want to return at any point, within reason, if he takes 5 years off, right? Yeah, I don't think teams are going to be lining up to bring him on. But if he takes a year, even 2, he'd still be 23. Right? I could see a couple teams maybe looking to take a flyer on him, bringing him in for being young enough. Obviously, they'd work him out and whatnot, but no, he's a guy that could definitely, fit being that 3-and-D style wing. Right? A lot of teams would love to have that kind of guy. He's got good size, good strength, good versatility. Right? So he's a guy that would make a lot of, especially on the Lakers, would make a ton of sense as your 3 of the future. Right? Kind of lock that in, and now you're good, and you got the development guy, especially with guys like Max Christie, a little questionable. Dalton Connect, you do have Dalton Connect, but I actually like him and would prefer him to be your 2, because I just think he'd just be a bigger 2, and then you could have Griffin at the 3 if you wanted to, right? And have like, Griffin would connect, and then, if Austin Reeves is around long enough, after this new contract, then maybe Reeves at the point. I'm not really too thrilled with the idea of Reeves as your starting point guard of the future, but I just, it's not something that I just wanted to make this video kind of having people understand the situation here, and understand that, like, he's probably not coming back this year. I don't want to say for sure he's not, because you never really know. Again, and give it a few months and maybe he just misses the game, right? Yeah, I mean, his dad, he's grown up around the game his entire life, right? So it's something that I'm sure is very dear to him, something that I'm sure he loves. I'm sure it's something that, takes his mind off of stuff to an extent, but he's just got a lot of stuff he needs to work out and deal with that, it makes sense that, hey, let me just take a year, step away, and then in the off season, I could see him, next off season, maybe looking to return and come back. But my guess is if he did do that, I think he'd go back to Houston. I think the only way he wouldn't go back to Houston is if Houston ends up getting somebody else or working something else out. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel with your thoughts? If you could get AJ Griffin, would you bring him in? Right? Would you just just let him figure it out, let him work on what he needs to work on? Again, how do you feel, whatever your thoughts are? I love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.